Welcome to 21st Sports Recap and Reaction for Game 5 of the ALDS between the Houston Astros and the Kansas City Royals, played October 14th, 2015. We're going to go over every at-bat and the stats and give our breakdown and analysis in this series-clinching game. And on the mound for the Royals, Johnny Cueto, and on the mound for the Astros, Collin McHugh. These two teams split the first two games in Kansas City, and then the next two in Houston. The Astros having won games 1 and 3, the Royals having won games 2 and 4, so it's back and forth. And the Royals were looking to break that trend and be the first team to win back-to-back games in this series. But in the first inning, Cueto set the side down in order. He's got Altuve to pop out. He struck out Springer, and Correa flew out. So now to the bottom of the first, McHugh would get Escobar to fly out. Zobrist then walked, and Cain hit into a double play. So that did it for the first inning. So now on the top of the second, Rasmus would strike out. Gomez flew out. Then Gaddis would reach on an infield single. That brought up Valbuena, and Valbuena took Cueto deep to right, 394, and it was a 2-run home run as the Astros took the early lead. So 2-0 Houston over Kansas City. Carter then fouled out, and so now that would do it for the top half of the second, but not after the Astros had put the first 2 runs on the scoreboard. So now on the bottom of the second, McHugh would set the side down in order as Hosmer lined out, Morales flew out, and Moustakas flew out. So now on the top of the third, Cueto would set the side down in order as Castro grounded out, Altuve flew out, and Springer struck out. So now at the bottom of the third, Perez hit a leadoff single. Gordon then hit into a double play. Rios would reach on an infield single, but Escobar flew out, and that would do it for the third. So now in the fourth, Cueto would set down the side in order for the second straight inning. He's got Correa to line out, and he struck out Rasmus and Gomez. So now in the bottom of the fourth, McHugh would strike out Zobrist. Lorenzo Cain then got a single, so Cain on first. Hosmer came up, and he hit a single to center. Cain took off running, and he was round the bases. Gomez slipped, fielding the ball in center field, and so Cain got the go-ahead signal, and he came around and he scored all the way from first base, and that put the Kansas City Royals' first run on the scoreboard as they cut the Astros lead to 1 with the score 2-1 Houston over Kansas City. Morales then flew out, and Moustakas flied out, and that would do it for the bottom of the fourth, but not before the Royals had scored their first run of the game. So now on the top of the fifth, Cueto would set the side down in order for the third straight inning, striking out Gaddis, getting Valbuena to foul out, and Carter struck out. So now to the bottom of the fifth, McHugh would end up hitting Perez with a pitch, so he would be awarded first base. Gordon then hit a ground rule double as it bounced over the right field wall. So Perez was held up at third, Gordon on second, as you had the 7-8 hitters on with no outs, and here came the 9 hitter, Alex Rios. Fires came in to relieve McHugh, and Rios hit a double that scored Perez and Gordon, and the Royals were now up by 1 with the score 3-2 Kansas City over Houston. So Perez the tying run, Gordon the go-ahead run. And now Escobar would sacrifice Rios over to third, and Zobrist would hit a sac fly. Rios tagged up, and he would score to add 1 more run in the inning to make that 3 in the inning, and it was now 4-2 as the Royals extended their lead to 2 runs over the Astros. Cain would then ground out, and the 5th would come to a close, but not after Kansas City had scored 3 runs in the inning. So now on the top of the 6th, Cueto would set down the side in order for the 4th straight inning as he would get Castro to pop out. Altuve flew out, fouled out to left, and then Springer popped out. So now to the bottom of the 6th, Tony Sipp in to relieve Fires, and so he would set the side down in order as he got Hosmer to ground out, Morales would ground out, and Moustakas flew out. By the way, in that top of the 6th, when Cueto set the side down in order for the 4th straight time, he got through that inning in just over 2 minutes. It was one of the quickest top halves of an inning you ever saw, or half an inning regardless. But onto the bottom, or onto the top of the 7th rather, and Cueto now would set down the side in order for the 5th straight inning, as he got Correa to line out, Rasmus struck out, and Gomez grounded out. So Cueto on fire ever since having let up that home run, that 2-run shot to Valbuena way back in the 2nd. But now onto the bottom of the 7th, coming out of the 7th inning stretch, Sip still on the mound for the Astros. He would get Perez to foul out. Gordon struck out, and now Nesic would come in to relieve Sip, and he struck out Rios. So the Royals go down in order in the bottom of the 7th. Now on the top of the 8th, Cueto would get Gaddis to pop out, Valbuena grounded out, and Carter grounded out as he set the side down in order for the 6th straight inning of this game, as he retired 19 straight batters. The only other pitcher to do that was Don Larson when he threw a perfect game in the World Series for the Yankees back in the 60s. So now, in the bottom of the 8th, the Astros would bring in their starter out of the bullpen, Dallas Keuchel, with the score 4-2. So Keuchel on the mound, not usually one to be used out of the bullpen, and he would let up a leadoff double to Escobar. Zobrist then lined out, and Lorenzo Cain was intentionally walked, and Hosmer fouled out. So 2 outs, as Kendrys Morales would come to the plate with 2 on, 2 outs in the bottom of the 8th. And Kendrys Morales took him deep 440 feet over the center field wall. And it was now 7-2, as that added the explanation point and really put this one out of reach, as the Royals extended their lead to 5 runs in the bottom of the 8th. Moustakas would ground out, and that would do it for the 8th inning. And at this point, with that 3-run shot, you gotta think the last 19 batters have been retired by Cueto in this game, as they were set down in order 6 straight innings. But now Wade Davis came to the mound, and Wade Davis had been excellent in relief out of the bullpen all throughout this series. And Davis came in. It was not a closing situation, or a save situation rather, but he came in to close out the game. And so Tucker would pinch hit for Castro. Tucker struck out. Altuve would ground out, and Springer flew out. And that was the side set down in order for the 7th straight inning. So quite the performance by Cueto and Davis in this game, as they end up retiring the final 22 batters of this game in order, setting down the side in order 7 innings in a row after that 2nd inning 2-run shot by Valbuena. So quite the effort by both pitchers in this game, especially Johnny Cueto pitched an absolute gem. He just made the one mistake. He only really allowed 1 base runner other than Valbuena, who touched them all, and that was Gaddis, who Valbuena drove in on that 2-run shot. And for the Royals, every single starter on the Royals lineup reached base except for Moustakas. So an all-around offensive effort and quite the pitching performance by Johnny Cueto. And of course, Morales with that 3-run shot that really sealed the deal. So he had the 3 RBIs. That was his 1 hit out of 4 appearances. Cain 1 for 3, came across twice. Hosmer 1 for 4 with an RBI. Zobrist 0 for 2, but he had that sac fly which gave him the RBI. He also walked. Escobar 1 for 3. Perez 1 for 2, he scored. Alex Gordon 1 for 3, he scored as well. And Rios 2 for 3, who also came across the plate and had 2 RBIs. And you see that 7, 8, 9 of Kansas City in this game was 4 for 8 with 3 runs scored and 2 RBIs. It's quite the lineup that the Royals have. They have a complete 1 through 9 that is dangerous. They said when you're 7, 8, 9 is Salvador Perez, Alex Gordon, and Alex Rios AA, you've got guys who can bring in those insurance runs. But they really do have an excellent lineup. It was a great series, really, between these two teams back and forth. Kansas City, the best team all year with the best record in the American League, and that's why they had this game at home, and that really did play into a factor that helped them out. And of course, when you got Johnny Cueto pitching the way he did from the 3rd inning on, and it just setting them down like nobody's business, one of the great pitching performances in postseason history by Johnny Cueto. And of course, Wade Davis there in the ninth, setting down the side in order as well. As the Astros only were able to muster 2 hits. They said they did it the 2 RBIs because of that 2-run shot, but that was the only batters that even reached base, Gaddis and Valbuena. So quite the pitching performance, as I said. It's just amazing. I'm in awe of Johnny Cueto, the way he was able to settle in after letting up that 2-run shot. A lot of guys get rattled, but he ends up bouncing back with just an amazing pitching performance where he struck out 8 in 8 innings, allowing just the 2 runs off 2 hits, and he did not walk any batters in this game. Of course, Davis, the 1 inning pitched, 1 strikeout, no hits, no earned runs. McHugh gets the loss, 4 innings pitched, 3 earned runs off of 5 hits, 1 walk, 1 strikeout. Fires 1 inning pitched with 1 earned run and 1 hit. Allowed Sip 1 2/3 innings, no hits, no earned runs, and a strikeout. Nesick 1/3 of an inning in which he got a strikeout, no hits, no earned runs. And Keuchel let up that 3-run shot to Morales as he had 3 earned runs off of just 2 hits, 1 walk in the 1 inning pitched, and he did not strike out a batter. It was, it's easy to second guess after, hindsight is 2020. You would think, that's the kind of thing where, anybody's going to be brought in that situation because it's a win-or-go-home game. Somebody's going to win, somebody's going to lose. And they're 2 really good teams. But you saw the Royals, they just would not be denied. As hot as the Astros have been, and they looked like they were just a team of destiny, but the Royals, they just want it so bad. They were so close last year. They made it all the way to the World Series, and they want to get back there, and they want to win it. They want to get that trophy and bring it back to Kansas City. And right here, this is a huge victory in a tough division series here against the Astros. And now they're going to have home field advantage still throughout the playoffs, in the next in the championship series going up against Toronto. That's going to be an excellent series. Can't wait to watch that one. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really excited to see that. They said this is a really great game, an instant classic, a pitching gem by Cueto. And of course, the offense coming through as they were doing it both ways, with they had the 3 doubles and then the home run by Morales. So they played a little small ball, they played some long ball. They just always they string together hits. It's just the way the Royals do from top to bottom, 1 through 9. Like I said, that's a really good lineup. Escobar, Zobrist, Cain, Hosmer, Morales, Moustakas, Perez, Gordon, Rios. They're all really good hitters that you really you're forced to have to pitch to them. You can't really pitch around anybody in that lineup. And the Astros, it was quite a season, and they really made a good run into the playoffs, stretching the series out to 5. And they should be building on that success for next year. But you've seen that they got pretty shut down by Cueto, other than that, that one mistake he made in that 2nd inning is, the top of the lineup not getting anything done, with Altuve, Springer, Correa, Rasmus, and Gomez all over. And also Carter and Castro down at the bottom of the lineup. But let me know what you think in the comments section below. Definitely interested to read your thoughts and opinions. Thank you very much for listening. It's greatly appreciated. I hope you're having a good day and had a great week. Enjoy all the sports.